In this video, I'm going to teach you how to tune your guitar using the pitch reference method, which means I play the note and then you basically have to tune your guitar and copy it. That's the one that makes the most sense on a video, I guess. Ultimately, you do want to get good at using a guitar tuner. So with that in mind, let me give you a broad overview of tuning and the three main types of tuning that we might use first of all. So, of course, using a tuner. So when you get what's called a chromatic tuner, whatever note you play on the guitar, if I play this note here, which is an E, then the note E will flash up on the guitar tuner, and you'll have a little dial, a little like a pin that looks like in a car, you know, looks like the miles per hour thing on a car. And what you want is for the pin to sit in the middle like that, and it'll. If it's a little bit flat, it'll be on one side. If it's a little bit sharp, it'll be on the other side, but you want it bang in the middle. And, you know, tuners have all sorts of variations. Some of them have lights on them and they go green when you're actually in tune. Some of them might beep when you're actually in tune. The thing I would suggest is downloading a tuning app and experimenting with it. But I'm going to teach you now how to tune using a reference pitch. So you may already know, and if you don't, go back and watch the video on which guitar strings are which, but the guitar strings are E, A, D, G, B, E, from thickest to thinnest. So the low E sounds like this. And what you have to do now is, by turning your tuning peg on the guitar, depending on what string it's attached to, you turn the relevant tuning peg and you turn it anti-clockwise to make the pitch go up because that tightens the string, and you turn it clockwise to go back down again. Now, one thing I do see students do when they're first starting out is either they're too tentative and too careful about how much they turn the tuning peg, or they just go "Wah!" and ramp it all the way up, okay, and go over the top with it. So you've got to find the right kind of movement. You only want to be adjusting small amounts, but you don't want to be going so slowly that you're not getting anywhere. So that's just something to keep in mind. Anyway, I'm going to do each string one at a time. And so if you need to, you can rewind back through the video to get that string to know that sound. Also, at the end, I'll do all the pitches together, and I'll put a little timestamp so you can just skip straight to that section when you understand the concept. So this is the low E string. This is the A string. This is the D string. This is the G string. This is the B string. And this is the high E string. Now, just for your reference, I'm going to go through them all a little bit more quickly, just so you can access the video again and tune to these notes more quickly. So, low E string, A string, D string, G string, B string, and high E string. Don't worry if you don't get it straight away. It does take a little bit of practice tuning. The other tuning method is actually tuning the guitar to itself. Now, in order for this to be perfectly in tune, the first string has to be correct. However, if you tune every other string relative to the first string, it will be in tune with itself, but if the first string wasn't correct, it won't be in tune with other instruments. I hope that makes sense. And it's called the 5th fret method. or the 55545 method. So we're going to try and memorize this sequence of numbers. 55545, your turn. And 55545, your turn again. And what we do is we go to the low E string and we pluck the 5th fret. And then that 5th fret has to match the open string below it, which is the A string. So here's the 5th fret of the E string, and here's the open A string. Then what we do is we go to the 5th fret of the A string, and that must match the open D string. Then we go to the 5th fret of the D string, and that has to match the open G string. Now you can see that we've gone 5, 5, 5 on the low E, the A and the D. But now when we get to the G string, we actually go to 4 as per the sequence. 5, 5, 5, 4, and then the last one is 5, but we're on 4 at the moment. So we're on the G string at the 4th fret. And that must match the open B string. And then the last number, of course, is 5. So we go to the 5th fret of the B string, and that must match the open high E string. And that is how we tune using the pitch reference method and the 55545 method. And of course, tuning with a tuner is something that you'll have to sit down and do with either a tuning app or an actual tuner. Now you know how to tune your guitar.